Dream big, stay focused. A phrase we hear often, but do we truly understand its power? We all have dreams, ambitions, and desires. But the path to achieving them isn't always as clear as we hope. It's not just about wishing for a better life. It's about believing, working, and staying relentlessly focused until you get there. This is the truth. Success doesn't come by accident. It comes through intention, passion, and unwavering focus. But first, let's address something important. How many of us have dreams we're too afraid to pursue? How many of us let the doubts of others, or even our own, hold us back from realizing our true potential? The first step toward making your dream a reality is simple, but not always easy. Believe. Believe that you deserve everything you want, and believe that with the right focus it will be yours. Don't ever let anyone tell you that your dreams are too big. Trust me, they're never too big. The size of your dream is just a reflection of your courage to go after it. Your dream is the fuel that powers your journey. Imagine this. You're driving a car and you're running low on gas. You don't have the energy to keep going and you feel like you're about to stall. But then you see a gas station up ahead. That fuel gives you the strength to push through, to reach your destination. Your dream is the same. It's the fuel that keeps you going when you feel like giving up, when things are hard, when the road gets tough. Without it, you'll lose momentum and you'll never get to where you want to go. Every one of us has a dream, whether it's becoming a successful entrepreneur, traveling the world, or creating a life full of purpose and joy. But the difference between those who achieve their dreams and those who don't is the fuel they use to power themselves forward. That fuel is belief in the dream. Without that belief, it's easy to give up when the road gets bumpy. It's easy to throw in the towel when things aren't going the way you imagined. But when you have a dream that lights a fire inside you, that vision becomes your reason to keep going, even when the world tells you to stop. Think about all the greats who've shaped our world. People like Oprah Winfrey, Steve Jobs, or J.K. Rowling. They didn't get to where they are by sitting back and letting life pass them by. They had dreams, big, bold dreams. And their belief in those dreams drove them to take risks, to fail, and to get back up over and over again. Oprah didn't just dream of becoming a media mogul. She believed in that dream so deeply that every setback, every challenge, and every failure was just another reason to fight harder, to push further, to believe even more. She used the pain, the rejection, and the hardship as the fuel to keep going because she knew her dream was worth it. Take Steve Jobs. In the early years of Apple, people thought he was crazy. His ideas were too big, too ambitious. But he didn't listen to the naysayers. He was so consumed by his vision of making technology accessible and transformative that he used that passion to fuel his work, to keep going when everyone else thought he was insane. That vision didn't just fuel him. It fueled the world. The products we use every day, the phones in our hands, the apps that make life easier, those are all the result of someone who used his dream as the fuel to create something revolutionary. It's the same for you. Whatever your dream is, it has the power to fuel you through every trial, every challenge, and every setback. But here's the thing. You have to believe in it. Belief isn't just wishful thinking. It's the unshakable confidence that what you want is possible. It's the certainty that the universe will open up for you when you're clear on what you want and you're relentless in your pursuit of it. Your belief will act as the gasoline for your journey. It doesn't matter if you're not there yet. What matters is that you keep going even when it feels like you're running on empty. Think about the everyday person who decides to build their life from scratch. Maybe it's a single mother who works 2 jobs just to put food on the table for her kids. Or a young artist working tirelessly to get noticed. They may not have the resources, the support, or the luxury of time, but they have something far more powerful, a dream. That dream becomes the fire that keeps them going when exhaustion sets in, when doubts creep in, and when the world tells them they don't stand a chance. They use that dream to fuel their work, their hustle, their drive. And before long, that dream isn't just a hope, it's a reality. But let's not forget this. Dreaming big isn't always easy. It's not just about imagining something grand. It's about believing that it's possible and staying focused enough to make it happen. The road will be tough. You will face obstacles. But your dream is there waiting for you, as long as you're willing to put in the effort to keep it alive. It's not about perfection or speed. It's about persistence. Your dream is the energy that gets you out of bed every morning, even when you're tired. It's the reason you push through the setbacks, the rejections, and the heartaches. And when you finally reach that destination, you'll realize that it wasn't just about the achievement. It was about everything you had to go through to get there. So fuel yourself with belief, stay focused on that dream, and never let go. Keep it in your heart, in your mind, and in every action you take. Because when your dream becomes your fuel, there is nothing that can stop you. Stay unstoppable. That's the mindset that turns ordinary people into extraordinary achievers. It's not just a phrase, it's a way of life. It's a commitment to refuse to let anything, no matter how tough, how challenging, or how unfair, stop you from achieving your dreams. Life has a way of throwing curveballs, and it's easy to get knocked down. But what separates those who make it from those who don't is this: the ability to keep going when everything tells you to quit. The moment you decide to stay unstoppable, you tap into a power you never knew you had. Think about someone like Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Here's a man who, just like you and me, faced setbacks. Early in his life, he was rejected from football teams. He didn't make the cut to play professionally. He had to deal with failure after failure. But did he stop? No. He didn't let rejection define him. Instead, he used it as fuel. Pushing through rejection, disappointment, and even his own doubts. Today, he's one of the most successful actors, producers, and entrepreneurs in the world. But none of that would have been possible if he had let those early failures stop him. Instead of quitting, he stayed unstoppable. Look at J.K. Rowling, the author of Harry Potter. Before she became the global sensation we all know today, she was living in poverty, struggling to feed herself and her child. She was rejected by 12 different publishers before one finally took a chance on her. Imagine what would have happened if she had given up after the first or the 10th rejection. She could have said, "It's too hard, maybe I'm just not cut out for this." But instead, she kept pushing. She stayed unstoppable. That belief in herself, in her story, and in her dream turned her into one of the most successful authors of all time. It's the same in your life. There will always be challenges. People will doubt you, circumstances will test you, and there will be moments when you feel like you can't go on. But in those moments, you must choose to stay unstoppable. You have to decide that no obstacle is big enough to stop you, no setback is final, and no failure will define you. You decide how far you're willing to go, and no one else gets to make that decision for you. Look at the everyday people around you. Think of the small business owner who pours everything they have into their dream, working day and night to make their vision a reality. They sacrifice time with their family, they sacrifice their comfort, and they pour every ounce of energy into their work. But it's not just about the effort. It's about the mindset that says, no matter how hard it gets, no matter how many doors close in my face, I will keep going. They're unstoppable because they believe in their dream more than the obstacles in their path. Or consider someone in your life who has faced tremendous personal challenges. Maybe a friend who lost a loved one or had to deal with illness. But despite everything, they chose to keep going. They didn't let their circumstances define them. They stayed unstoppable. They got up every day, fought through the pain, and kept moving forward. That is the kind of relentless drive that changes lives. It's not about never falling down. It's about getting back up every single time. It's about resilience. And then there's you. Every day you face your own battles. Maybe it's the struggle to stay motivated at work, or the pressure to succeed in school. Maybe it's the fear of failure, or the frustration of watching others get ahead while you feel stuck. But guess what? Those who succeed aren't the ones who never face challenges. They're the ones who decide to keep moving forward, even when it feels like the world is holding them back. They decide to stay unstoppable no matter what. The road will not be easy. There will be days when you feel exhausted, when you feel like you've given it your all and you're still not where you want to be. But in those moments, remember this. The greatest strength is the strength to keep going. Staying unstoppable doesn't mean you have to be perfect or never face failure. It means you refuse to quit. It means you keep pushing forward, one step at a time until you make it. You stay unstoppable because you believe that what you're working toward is bigger than the obstacles in front of you. Don't fear failure. This is one of the most liberating and empowering pieces of advice you can embrace in your life. Failure is not something to run from or to be ashamed of. It's not a mark of weakness or a sign of defeat. In fact, failure is one of your greatest teachers, a necessary step in your journey to success. The truth is, failure is simply the evidence that you've stepped out of your comfort zone, that you've tried something new, and that you've learned from the experience. Every time you fail, you are closer to understanding what works and what doesn't. You are closer to the person you need to become in order to achieve your dreams. Consider the example of Thomas Edison, the inventor of the light bulb. Do you think he succeeded on his first try? Of course not. Edison is said to have failed thousands of times before he finally created a working light bulb. But instead of fearing those failures, he embraced them. In fact, when asked about his many unsuccessful attempts, Edison famously said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." This mindset, the ability to see failure as a lesson rather than a setback, was key to his eventual success. If Edison had feared failure, if he had given up after the first few attempts, we might still be living in the dark. Instead, he used each failure as a stepping stone toward his breakthrough. Think about a child learning to walk. They don't fall once and then decide, this is too hard, I'll never get it. No, they get up, they try again. They fall, they try again. With each fall, they get closer to standing and eventually walking. Failure doesn't stop them, it fuels them. The same principle applies to us as adults. The fear of failure often holds us back from even trying. We convince ourselves that failure means we're not good enough, that we're not cut out for success. But the reality is that failure is simply part of the process of growing and learning. Look at athletes. Every athlete who has ever excelled has faced failure. Serena Williams, one of the greatest tennis players of all time, has lost many matches. In fact, she has been knocked out of tournaments she was favored to win. But does she fear failure? No, she uses it to fuel her desire to improve. Each loss teaches her something new, something she can apply the next time she steps on the court. Serena doesn't let failure define her. She lets it refine her. It sharpens her skills, strengthens her resolve, and makes her even more determined to come back stronger. In the world of business, failure is often seen as a badge of honor. Every successful entrepreneur has faced setbacks, challenges, and moments where it seemed like the dream would never become a reality. Take Steve Jobs, for example. He was famously ousted from Apple, the company he founded. At that moment, many people would have thrown in the towel, but Jobs didn't let failure define him. Instead, he took what he had learned from his failures and came back to create even more revolutionary products with the company. If Jobs had feared failure, if he had seen his ousting from Apple as the end, we wouldn't have the iPhones and Macs that we use every day. His story proves that failure doesn't have to be the end. It can be the beginning of something even greater. Even in our personal lives, we fear failure in relationships, in love, and in our aspirations. We hesitate to take risks because we're scared of getting hurt, of making mistakes. But what if we chose to see failure as an opportunity to grow, rather than something to be feared? Every failed relationship is an opportunity to learn more about ourselves, to understand what we want, and to become a better partner in the future. Every mistake we make teaches us something valuable: how to communicate better, how to be more patient, how to set boundaries, how to love ourselves first. The truth is, failure is not the opposite of success. It is a part of success. It is the fire that forges us into the person we need to be in order to achieve greatness. If you want to be successful, you have to be willing to fail, and to fail often. Don't fear failure, because it is through failure that you develop resilience, strength, and the perseverance to keep going when things get tough. It is through failure that you refine your skills, your ideas, and your strategies. Every time you fall, you rise up with more wisdom and more experience. In fact, Failure should be celebrated. It is proof that you are taking risks, that you are pushing boundaries, and that you are doing something that matters. Failure is not something to hide from. It is something to embrace because it brings you closer to your goals. Every time you fail, you get one step closer to success. So the next time you stumble, the next time you face a setback, remember, failure is not the end. It is just another opportunity to rise up, to learn, and to move forward, stronger than before. Keep going, keep failing, because each failure is simply one more step on the path to success. Take bold actions. This is one of the most powerful pieces of advice you can ever receive. It's easy to stay within the safe boundaries of what you know, to follow the path of least resistance, and to avoid the discomfort of stepping outside your comfort zone. But nothing extraordinary ever happens within those boundaries. Real success, real transformation, and real change only come when you decide to take bold actions, when you choose to leap into the unknown and trust in your ability to navigate through it. Look at any successful person in history, and you'll see that they took bold actions. They didn't wait for the perfect moment, the right opportunity, or the perfect set of conditions. They made the decision to go after their dreams, regardless of the obstacles, the fear, or the uncertainty they faced. Take Oprah Winfrey, for instance. She didn't start out with fame or fortune. She faced rejection after rejection, countless struggles and hurdles along the way. But every time she faced adversity, she took bold actions. She pushed forward, reinvented herself, and pursued her goals with relentless determination. Her boldness in seizing every opportunity, even in the face of failure, is what ultimately led her to becoming one of the most influential women in the world. You may not be chasing the same dream as Oprah, but the principle remains the same. Bold actions pave the way for success. Think about an entrepreneur starting their business. When they begin, there's no guarantee of success. They invest money, time, and energy into something uncertain. They risk their own stability, their finances, and often their reputation. But they take that bold step because they believe in their vision. The successful entrepreneurs are the ones who act, even when the path ahead is unclear. Steve Jobs was once told that his vision for Apple was too risky, that it would never work. But did he back down? No. He took bold action, pushed through the doubts, and changed the tech industry forever. If he had waited for the right moment, for the perfect conditions, he might never have taken that first step. Boldness was the key. Think about your own life for a moment. How many times have you held back from doing something you truly wanted because you were afraid of failing, of being judged, or of not having the perfect plan in place? The truth is, the perfect plan will never exist. Life isn't about waiting for the perfect conditions. It's about creating the conditions through your actions. Take that first step, even if it feels risky. Start the business, apply for the job, ask for that promotion, write that book, take that trip. Bold actions are often the ones that make all the difference. Consider a personal example of someone making a bold move. Imagine a person who is stuck in a job they hate. Every day they wake up feeling miserable, uninspired, and disconnected from their true passions. But they take a bold action. They decide to quit their job, even without a backup plan. The fear is there, but they take the leap anyway. And it's in that leap that they discover new opportunities, new passions, and a life they never thought possible. Was it easy? No. Was it risky? Absolutely. But it was in taking that bold step that they transformed their life and opened up new possibilities. Had they stayed in their comfort zone, they would have remained stuck. But by taking bold action, they created the life they had always dreamed of. Bold actions are not just about big dramatic leaps. They can be small, everyday decisions that push you outside your comfort zone. It could be speaking up in a meeting when you usually stay silent. It could be reaching out to someone you admire for advice. Or it could be setting a goal that scares you. Bold actions are about challenging yourself to do what you've never done before, to go after what you've always wanted, and to keep moving forward, despite the fear and uncertainty. Every bold step you take, no matter how small, gets you closer to your dreams. We often think we have all the time in the world to take action, but the reality is that time doesn't wait for anyone. If you don't act now, if you don't take that first step, you may never get another chance. Every moment you hesitate is a moment wasted. Opportunities don't last forever. And while hesitation can feel safe, it's also a silent killer of dreams. When you take bold actions, you're telling the universe that you are ready, that you believe in yourself, and that you're willing to put everything on the line to create the life you want. Think of it like this. The world belongs to the bold. It belongs to those who are willing to take risks, to put themselves out there, and to chase their dreams even when the world tells them they're crazy. The world doesn't reward those who sit on the sidelines. It rewards those who take risks, who push forward with courage, who choose to act even when the outcome is uncertain. Bold actions are what separate the dreamers from the doers, the wishers from the achievers. The time is now. Stop waiting for the perfect moment. Stop holding back out of fear. Boldness is not the absence of fear. It's the willingness to move forward despite it. Make that move today. Take the bold action that will change everything. The path to your dreams is waiting, but you have to take that first step. Don't hold back. Go after it. And let your boldness be the fuel that drives you to success. Never settle for mediocrity. This is one of the most empowering mindsets you can adopt in life. So often, we are conditioned to believe that we should be content with good enough, that we should be grateful for what we have and not strive for more. But the truth is, settling for mediocrity is like settling for a life half-lived. It's like living in the shallow end of the pool, when you have the potential to dive into the deep, to swim with the current, and to reach places you've only dreamed of. Look at the great achievers of our time. They didn't settle. They didn't accept the status quo. Take Elon Musk, for example. When he started SpaceX, people told him he was crazy. They told him it would never work. The space industry was dominated by government agencies and massive corporations. And they believed a private company could never compete. But Musk didn't settle for the conventional view. He didn't accept the idea that space exploration was reserved for the government. Instead, he pushed forward, took risks, and changed the game. Today, SpaceX has revolutionized space travel. Musk could have settled for mediocrity, for following the path laid out by others, but instead, he refused to accept good enough, and the world is better for it. Or look at someone like Serena Williams. Her journey in tennis is a testament to the refusal to settle. Early in her career, many people doubted her. They didn't believe a woman could dominate a sport so heavily populated by male athletes. But she didn't let that stop her. She didn't settle for being good enough. She wanted to be the best, and she worked relentlessly toward that goal, breaking records and shattering expectations along the way. Serena could have accepted the idea that she was just another tennis player, that she should be content with a few wins here and there. But no, she pushed herself to greatness, and in doing so, she inspired an entire generation. The reality is that mediocrity is easy. It's comfortable. It's what everyone around you does because it's the safe route. But mediocrity also comes with regret. When you settle for just okay, you never discover the depth of your true potential. You never challenge yourself to do more, to be more, to reach higher. It's easy to coast through life and follow the crowd. But true greatness comes when you push yourself beyond what's expected. When you refuse to settle for anything less than the absolute best you can give. Think about someone you admire, whether it's an entrepreneur, an athlete, an artist, or anyone else who has achieved success. Did they settle? Did they say, this is good enough for me, when they could have gone further, when they could have created something greater? Of course not. Take Michael Jordan, for example. He's often regarded as the greatest basketball player of all time. But he didn't reach that level by settling. He didn't settle when he was cut from his high school basketball team. He didn't settle after his first few seasons in the NBA, when the championship wasn't a guarantee. He worked harder, he pushed himself further, and he demanded excellence from himself. Jordan didn't stop when things got difficult, he worked through them. He embraced the discomfort, the failure, and the setbacks because he knew that mediocrity was never going to bring him the greatness he craved. In our own lives, we often settle for things out of fear or comfort. Maybe we're afraid of failure, afraid of looking foolish, or afraid of what others will think. But all of that is just a distraction. Fear is a liar. Fear will tell you that you're not good enough, that you should be happy with what you have, that the dream you're chasing is too big. But you have to ask yourself, would you rather live a life of regret, knowing you could have done more? Or would you rather push through the fear and aim higher, even if it means failing along the way? Mediocrity doesn't ask that question. It just whispers, stay comfortable. But comfort is the enemy of greatness. There's a beautiful example in the world of education that demonstrates the power of not settling. Think of students who graduate at the top of their class. They don't do it by doing the minimum required to pass. They go beyond. They challenge themselves to learn more, to do more, to ask more questions, and to give more effort. They push through the late nights and the tough challenges because they refuse to settle for mediocrity. And when they step into the real world, they are ready to take on anything. They are not content with just getting by because they've experienced the difference between doing enough and doing what it takes to be extraordinary. What would it look like if we all stopped settling? What if we woke up every day and asked ourselves, how can I be better today? What if we started demanding more from ourselves? Pushing ourselves past the limits of what feels comfortable and embracing the discomfort that comes with growth. The world doesn't need more people who settle. It needs people who rise up, who refuse to accept anything less than their absolute best, who are willing to break barriers, to challenge the norm, and to set new standards for themselves and for others. You are capable of so much more than you realize. You are capable of greatness. Don't let the noise around you, the opinions of others, or the fear of failure stop you from going after what you truly want. Don't settle for mediocrity. Demand more from yourself, and the world will follow. Mediocrity may seem easy, but it is not fulfilling. True satisfaction comes from knowing you gave everything you had and reached higher than you ever thought possible. Stop settling and start rising. As you stand at the crossroads of your dreams, remember this. The world doesn't reward those who simply show up. It rewards those who dare to rise, to break through the walls of self-doubt, to move beyond the limitations others place on them. Every moment is an opportunity to rewrite your story, to make the choice, to live with purpose, passion, and power. It doesn't matter where you start, it only matters how you finish. The world is waiting for you to take your place among the greats, but you must be willing to put in the work, to challenge yourself, and to never settle for anything less than extraordinary. Look, there is one truth we must all come to understand. You are not here by accident. Every setback, every failure, every struggle, and every triumph has led you to this very moment. The question is, what will you do with it? Will you take this moment and turn it into your stepping stone, or will you let it slip away? The choice is yours. Do you know why greatness is so rare? It's because greatness demands sacrifice. It demands discomfort. It demands that you keep going when everyone else stops. It requires you to give everything, even when the road ahead seems uncertain, even when the risks seem too high. It demands that you trust in yourself, even when the world doubts you, that you keep pushing even when you feel like giving up. But greatness also gives back. It gives you a life of fulfillment, of joy, of meaning. It gives you the satisfaction of knowing that you didn't waste a single moment, that you didn't hold back, that you showed up fully and did everything you could to chase your dreams. Remember, fortune favors the bold. It's not enough to dream big. You have to act on those dreams. You must take the first step, even if you're trembling with fear, because that first step is the most important one. It's the one that takes you from thinking about change to actually making it happen. The world belongs to those who dare to stand up, to those who are willing to take a risk on themselves, to those who refuse to be silent and settle for the ordinary when the extraordinary is within their reach. You are the architect of your own destiny. Every decision you make, every challenge you overcome, every risk you take, and every sacrifice you endure shapes the future you're building. And let me tell you something, greatness is not reserved for a select few. It is not some rarefied prize that only a few people get to claim. Greatness is available to anyone who refuses to settle, who keeps pushing forward, who dares to dream beyond what seems possible. The greatest individuals in history didn't wait for things to be perfect. They didn't wait for the right time. They created the right time by taking action, by getting up every morning with a fire in their belly, ready to face the challenges head on. They didn't wait for opportunities to come to them. They made opportunities. And that's what you must do. Your dreams are not just whimsical fantasies. They are blueprints for your future. Every time you get closer to them, you unlock more of your potential, more of your power, and more of your ability to impact the world around you. Think about all the people you admire, whether they're world leaders, creators, or innovators. They're no different from you. They have the same 24 hours in a day, the same opportunities to rise, to fail, and to try again. What separates them from others is that they chose to be relentless. They chose to believe in their vision even when the world doubted them. The road to success is never easy. It's full of obstacles, hardships, and setbacks. But the journey is worth it. Every step forward, every challenge faced makes you stronger, wiser, and more resilient. You are not meant to be average. You are meant for greatness. And that greatness is born from the courage to face challenges, the discipline to keep going, and the perseverance to never stop believing in yourself. So make this promise to yourself today. I will not settle for mediocrity. I will chase my dreams with every ounce of energy I have. I will not let fear, doubt, or failure stop me. I will be the person I was always meant to be. The person who steps into greatness, who shines in the face of adversity, and who refuses to let the world dictate what I'm capable of. Your future is bright. Your potential is limitless. Now is the time to make it happen. The world is waiting for you to step into your power. Do not let this moment pass. Do not let fear hold you back. Stand tall, take action, and know that every step you take is bringing you closer to the life you've always dreamed of.